All right, let's take a minute here and just adjust. Okay, and let me grab the door. All right, so for today, we're going to be utilizing a blanket or a towel if you have one. So, as I was saying in the last few videos, I'm very tight in the hips. And so, if you are as well, or if you're slightly taller, I mean, I'm not too tall, I'm between 6 and 6'1", but if you are that height or above, and it's a little bit harder for you to get the outside of your hips to the mat, take your towel or your blanket, fold it long ways, and then just give it a tight roll. Depending on how tall you are, you can fold it over. I like to do that to give myself a little bit extra height. And this is gonna bring the hips a little bit higher. I mean, it's not ideal. I wish I had a thicker blanket to demonstrate with, but also find the leg placement that's gonna work best for you. I like the right in front. How's that? Okay. So when you have your blanket or your block or your towel situated underneath your sit bones and you feel like you're nice and sturdy, um, I should have said this before, but you're also going to want to have a notebook. It would have been helpful if I said that earlier. Um, have a notebook nearby because we're going to do a little bit of journaling and a writing exercise today. So in the last video, I was talking about self-discipline and the different practices on and off the mat that we can utilize to get to a better place of self-discipline within ourselves, and also the things that get in the way. And I mentioned that poetry for me is a great practice in trying to channel and work through that negative energy and sort of find out how I can better discipline myself, in which ways I'm lacking discipline, etc. So I wanted to share with you two poems that are in a book that I just completed. Haikus are really beautiful because they provide a structure, a very tight structure for us, and we can also improvise on that structure. And in that way, they're very similar to our yoga practices, both on and off the mat. So here's an example of just a little funny one that I wrote when I was really struggling. I was getting increasingly angry that I couldn't open a pickle jar. It was closed so tight. I tried all the tricks. I tried running it under hot water. I tried using that stupid rubber thing. I don't even know what it's called, and getting some extra leverage to try to open it. And I just couldn't open this pickle jar. Impenetrable, impenetrable pickle jar, locked forever, back into the fridge. That's simple. So you have your first line, impenetrable, 5 syllables, impenetrable. Pickle jar, locked forever, 7 syllables. Pickle jar, locked forever. And then 5 syllables in the last line, back into the fridge. So you have 17 syllables here to say something very concise and relatable, even general. The idea is to involve as many readers as possible when you're writing. And just like at our yoga practice, right, it's our way of sort of connecting with the world around us and feeling interconnected with that world. For me, haikus are also a way to study myself and how I can be better in that world. So a lot of lately is all about how I sort of am working through seeing myself in the world of social activism and the post George Floyd moment when it seems like the world on a global scale is refusing to accept white supremacy. The United States is just catching up to that sentiment in a lot of ways. And of course, we're in the midst of the Breathe Act. We're in the midst of all kinds of calls for defunding the police and these larger social unrest. And especially for us as white people and me as a white male, I really want to cultivate an honest sense of allyship and co-collaboration. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to study with Ashley and with the good folks at Blue Yoga, Yoga Blue Fitness. Um, I was really inspired by Ashley's welcome video that said, "This space is for everyone that wants to be in communion with people of color and creating a better world." And that was one of the things that led me to write this poem. History classroom, opportunity to learn through troublesome truths. So, history, classroom, 5 syllables in the first line. Opportunity, to learn, 7 syllables in the second line. Through troublesome truths, 5 syllables in the last line. And I'm also a fan of alliteration. So why do I write? I mean, that poem especially, I come from a cultural history background, and I've taught history courses, culture, politics, sociology. I've taught courses in university classrooms where, we're having these discussions with students who are going to be the next generation of leaders. And I want to bring that same kind of awareness and interaction with the exterior world into the yoga space. I mean, that's one of my goals as a teacher, but also one of my goals as just an interconnected being with all of you and with anyone that would step in my studio. And history classroom, opportunity to learn through troublesome truths, is this idea that we have to cultivate honest spaces. They might not be safe, they might not be comfortable, but we have to create spaces where we can have difficult dialogues and learn from each other, understand each other, and begin to unpack this privilege, this white privilege, this supremacy that undergirds all of our structures in the Western world, especially in the United States. And only then, when we can begin from that point, that place of conversation, can we really begin to have real equity and social change. And in that inspiring look at self-study from Deborah Adele's The Yamas and Niyamas, this comes from page 150 and 151, pages 150 and 151. Svadhyaya, or self-study, is about knowing our true identity as divine and understanding the boxes we're wrapped in. We can find clues about our boxes by watching our projections, by the process of tracing our reactions back to a belief, and by courageously looking at life as it is. This process of knowing ourselves and the boxes that adorn us creates a pathway of freedom, the ability to shift our identification from our self or our boxes to the witness, and finally to our true identity as divinity itself, is the joy of this jewel of self-study. So what is this practice that we go through to move from this illusory self to discover an individual self, and from there to understand that individual self as contributing to this universal self? To me, this is the essence of self-study. And sometimes there's contradictions, right? I mean, one of my first questions that I asked Hari Kirtana Das, one of my yoga philosophy teachers, was, if every body is different and every body goes through different experiences, i.e. a white male body, a black female body, an Asian body, a Native American body, if all those bodies go through different experiences, then how are we to understand and teach yoga as the threefold harmonies of mind, body, and spirit? How do we understand and be receptive to this idea that there is a multiplicity of experiences that then contribute to this universal self? And I think kind of getting at that, Deborah Adele in this chapter gives us a writing exercise that I would like to do with you all right now. So grab that notebook, and I'm going to read the prompt. She writes, "Do this experiment now. Without thinking, quickly write down the first 5 things that come to your mind that describe the world as you see it." Okay? So take a few minutes and do that. No rush. Again, that's write down the first five things that come to your mind that describe the world as you see it. And there's no rules here, right? You can write down anything that's in your heart, your mind, stream of consciousness, anything that comes out on the page. Don't overthink it. Okay, so take about 30 more seconds with that. Now we're going to come back to this at the end, so keep that notebook nearby. We're going to come back to that at the end of today's session. But with this idea that the five things we just wrote down undergird our projections in life, Adele continues. Now look at what you've written. Every comment that you have used to describe the world will tell you more about yourself than about the world. You have just written clues into how you structure your beliefs, yourself, and your life. Every comment you make about the world, about another person, about an event, about life, is a projection of yourself and a clue to your interior landscape. The world is your autobiography. I don't know about you, but when I first read that, I got chills. The world is your autobiography. So if you don't already have an intention that you're bringing to the practice today, I'd like to invite you to share mine, which is to notice our projections and the beliefs that underline them. Okay? So let's explore. The first thing that we can really do to study ourselves is to study our breathing, because as we know, our pranayama is so much of who we are. And if our projections, if the world is our autobiography, the ink for that autobiography is the breath. So let's take our left hand and just begin to feel the neck, the center of the chest, the torso, down to the belly. Sitting up nice and straight, maybe bringing your neck from side to side, feeling a light stretch as you go. Bring your left ear towards your left shoulder, your right ear towards your right shoulder. And now, with your left hand, as you come up towards your heart, breathe in. And as you exhale, bring the left hand down to the belly. Up to your heart as you inhale, exhale. Bring the hand down, and you can keep moving your neck side to side, feeling a nice flow. This isn't as exciting as when you pat your head and rub your belly and see if you can get all of those mechanisms working together. But it's a good instruction in the study of how well all of our different parts work together, kind of like the mechanisms of a clock. And next time your left hand exhales down to your belly, bring your right hand over your heart. And as you inhale, try to inflate the chest as big as you can, keeping a nice straight spine, crown of the head pointed to the skies, chin parallel to the floor. And then inflate the belly as well before you give it an exhale. Take a few moments here and just at your own pace, feel your body, feel your chest, your belly, and let your hands guide your chest and your belly in and out. Feel the expansion and the contractions. You can even close your eyes here if you just want a moment to be. Relax the jaw, relax the muscles around the eyes, nose, relax the shoulders. We're so used to being tight and clenching our shoulders up towards our ears. But with a nice straight spine, let's just relax them down. And what are you noticing? What thoughts are coming up while you're doing this? What feelings are in your body? Maybe you're tingling. Maybe if you're not used to sitting in this position, one of your feet is falling asleep. You feel that pins and needle sensation. Inhale, exhale, at your own pace. And opening the eyes, let's bring the hands down to the knees. And let's, as yeah, words. Words are difficult. As we have our hands on our knees and we bring them, slide them slowly back towards our hips, let's exhale. Here, also try to bring the shoulder blades together and really open up that chest, open up that heart. Imagine there are lights shining into the universe, and your chest, your heart is a lighthouse, and you are giving opportunity, you are giving inspiration to everyone, everything around you. Inhale, and we bring the arms forward, straight, hands on the knees. Exhale back to the hips. Inhale forward. And maybe now we begin to massage the calves, especially if we're practicing in the morning. The calves can get tight. You know, we have a tendency to dream and clench. Sometimes I even, if I'm having a bad dream, I tend to clench my legs and wake up with cramps. So this is a good opportunity to show some love. Those calves, those thighs. Let's concentrate on the right leg first. And really just try to wake it up a little bit. Feel some of that pressure, that warmth atop us. How does that leg feel as you study the thigh? How does that feel in your hands? What is that sensation like as you grip and dig into that meat, that muscle? How often do you think about that muscle and all that it does for you as you're going through your everyday life? Let's come down now to the ankle, foot, Massage the sole, the heel, flex the toes back and forth. Really showing your body some love here. And then let's transfer to the left ankle, left foot. Maybe we even bring the opposite foot forward. And now as you're going through the opposite leg, what feels different? You know, sometimes if we are right-handed, for instance, or right-legged, the muscles in our right leg tend to be a little bit larger. Maybe one side is a little bit leaner. You know, it's very rare. We tend to prize symmetrical bodies, right? That's our kind of standard of beauty, or not kind of. It's the basis of this standard of beauty that we get from art history and the way that sexuality is positioned in our culture. But how often do we look in the mirror and we say to ourselves, you know, we are not symmetrical? And how often are we proud of that? Probably not as much as we can be. And so, what feels different here as you're massaging your other leg, really digging in the meat, the muscle? Also, what feels different? I could tell you right now, when I was massaging my right calf, it felt good, but there was no sort of pleasurable sensation. It was just a general positive feeling. But over here on my left leg, right underneath my knee in my calf, I have a little knot I can feel. So just this simple act of rubbing the thumbs in really feels good. It's such a relaxing sensation. And let's bring our awareness now to the left thigh, really waking up the lower body. Just moving around. Let's inhale the arms up now. Exhale, cactus down, or trident if you prefer. Inhale, pushing up, pushing the stars, the universe, the galaxies, all the way up into the heavens. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Pulling down. Imagine that you're doing a pull up and you're bringing your chin over the bar. Exhale. Inhale up and exhale down. Planting the palms on either side. Let's inhale that right arm up and come over for a side bend. Exhale as you bend to the left. Give yourself a few breaths here. Inhaling back to center. Let's exhale that right arm down and over with above the right ear, trying to keep that spine as straight as possible. Inhale the arms up. Exhaling them down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up, bringing the hands to prayer all the way above as far as you can reach. Really feel that stretch in the shoulders, the back body, but you're still trying to keep the legs grounded. Try to keep them as flat as possible. The tendency here when we reach up might be that the legs start to follow, but let's see if we can keep them rooted. It's okay if we have trouble. You know, it's an ongoing practice and we'll find our way. We'll find whatever works for us. There's no such thing as an ideal. And opening the arms, pushing Imagining that the right palm is pushing away the right wall, the left palm is pushing away the left wall, bringing it down to the mat. All right. Let's meet in tabletop. We can remove that blanket or that towel that we had earlier. And we'll come to all fours, feet flat, adjusting with the hands underneath the shoulders and at your own pace. Let's do some cat cows. Feet straight, tabletop position, knees planted, slight bend in the elbows, shoulders stacked over your wrists, and inhale up for cow, hips slightly forward, and exhale, rocketing those shoulder blades out of the back of your shirt. Take a few moments here to steady yourself. Where do you feel pressure when you're exhaling into into cat? Where do you feel, I shouldn't say pressure, more like tapas. Where do you feel that heat when you exhale into cat and when you inhale into cow? Is one more difficult than the other for you? Is one easier? What part of your body are you not engaging that you could be? For instance, what are your abdominals doing while you're in each position? Let's study the differences. All right, on this next breath, let's meet again in tabletop. Tucking the toes under, lifting up from the hips. Let's come into our first downward dog of the day. And here, let's even lift up on the toes. Let's feel the hips raising towards the skies and just kind of easing up and down. Feel the stretch in the back of the calves that we massaged so lovingly earlier, and the back of the hamstrings that we massaged so lovingly earlier. And let's see what feels stronger. Do we feel equal strength in the legs and the arms? If not, what feels stronger? What do we want to work on? Where do we want to place our focus? Where do we want our practice to lead us? As we contemplate those questions, let's cross the right foot over the left, forward, left foot over the right, forward, and repeat that pattern all the way till we get to the top of the mat. And just take a minute here. Let's get the right hand on the left elbow, left on the right elbow, and just rock slowly. As we rock back and forth, what are the feet doing? Are the toes moving? For instance, I'm noticing on my feet that, in particular, the second, third, and fourth toes, when I move to the right, I can feel flex in the right, second, third, and fourth toe. When I rock to the left, I feel the same thing on that side with those three toes. Can we try not to use the power of our toes And just use the firm rooting of our legs and our full feet to rock back and forth. In other words, can we distribute our balance as much as possible throughout the legs instead of relying solely on the feet? See what I did there? That was a feet pun. Finding your breath. And just slowly let the arms fall, let the head drop heavy, and rooting through the feet, push up through the feet, push up through the back of the legs, and let's roll up as slowly as possible, as if we were moving in slow motion. And what sensations are you feeling as you do that? How are your clothes moving on your body? Oftentimes, when we get up to mountain where we are meeting right now, our clothes feel a little disheveled. And what causes that? What movements cause that distribution of the fabric? I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit. Hopefully, there we go. My head will be cut off again, but it is what it is, you know? A healthy decapitation sometimes is good for a yoga class. Okay, and with a deep breath, let's inhale the arms up, devotion forward, generous bends in the knees, folding over. Take a moment here. Inhale to flat back. Here, if your fingers are nimble enough to touch the mat and you feel comfortable doing your flat back here, by all means, please take that. If you feel more comfortable with your hands on your shins, that also works. Another option here, as we've discussed, hands on the thighs. Whatever will give you the most comfortable 7 shape. Don't try to actually complete 7 shape. Don't be fixed to the projection of what that number symbol means in your mind. Just try to form what feels comfortable. Create your own concept of what that number 7 looks like and feels like. And when you get there, try to bring the back shoulder blades together, almost as if they were kissing. And exhale the arms down. Bring that right foot back. And let's stretch forward. Inhale the chest forward, bringing the toes on the back foot straight. You can modify here by bringing the right foot down and right knee to the floor. Or if you're able, if you're interested, keep the back toes tucked under, straighten that leg. And then as you exhale, straighten through that front left leg. And just bow forward. Try to kiss your forehead to your knee as close as you can. If it doesn't reach, that's perfectly fine. Just take a look at it and say, hello, knee. How are you? And again, breathing through. Feeling that openness in the chest. And planting your hands. Let's bring the foot back into down dog. Exhaling into plank. Lowering down. Inhale up for a slight cobra. Just a baby cobra. If you feel like going a little higher, by all means, you can do that too. And just take a minute here Rest your head on the mat. Position yourself comfortably. And exhale. We'll meet back in down dog. How does it feel this time? What's different? What's different in your body, in your mind? And you can either cross your legs again like last time or take some short steps up to the front. Meet in a flat back position. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up. And we meet back in mountain. Just take a minute here. Let's adjust. Maybe it's getting a little hot. Take off any clothes that are not serving you right now. Throw them to the side like a bad habit. Adjust pants or the leggings. Inhale, the arms up. Devotion down. Come into the flat back. Exhale. Into plank. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Heels pointing straight to the sky. Lower down softly, bringing the chest and the belly to the mat, and the legs and the top of the feet. Inhale to a slightly larger cobra. Again, kissing those shoulder blades together. Exhaling down, tucking the feet under, meeting back in downward dog. Do whatever feels good here. And ask yourself why. Let's bend the knees. Let's bring the belly to the knees in almost like a modified squat. And just waking up those hamstrings that we lovingly massaged earlier. And then when you're ready, take a slight hop to the middle of the mat and walk your way up to a flat back at the top. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, the arms up. Exhale, and we meet back in mountain. All right, now this time, slight variation. Let's bring the heels up. Before we get to that variation, let's loosen up those ankles a little bit more. Mine feel a little tight today. I think it's because I went for a long run this morning. Okay. And now inhale up. But instead of going from mountain all the way to hands straight up in prayer to the sky, let's sink down as much as you can. It's okay if you're only sinking a little bit. If you can only get a slight bend in the knees, that's perfectly cool. That works. Sink down as much as feels comfortable. And let's put those arms out in front. Don't worry so much right now if they're not going up. We can work on that as we get a little bit more loose today. Well, let's just bring them up into chair, Uttanasana, and hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale it out. Forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, planting the palms, bringing the right leg back. And now, just like we did on the other side, let's stretch it out. Really opening up that chest. I think I actually was, yeah, there we go. I was opposite. I was wondering why I felt so loose on that side. And just like we did on the other side, let's lean forward, stretching that back leg. Again, if you need to modify by putting that back leg down, please do so. Do whatever feels comfortable. Bring that left leg up. And let's try to bring that forehead to the front knee. Straighten that right leg as best as possible. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. And exhale back. And planting the palms. Let's come back to plank. Hold for 3, 2, 1. And lower down. This time, if you feel loose enough, you can come up with an even more intense back bend into upward dog, or you can stay in cobra, whatever feels good here. Keeping the arms nice and straight, biceps pointing forward. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale into downward dog. And just hold here for a few breaths. Pedal it out again if you need some extra movement, some extra pliability. And then step or jump your way to the top. Coming into your flat back. Exhale down to forward fold. And arms out, sinking down maybe a little bit deeper this time into chair pose. Inhaling up. Bringing the palms to your chest in prayer. And exhale into mountain. And one more time. Inhale the arms out, sinking a little bit lower if possible. Maybe this time you can bring the arms up a little bit more. If you prefer to just keep them straight out in front, by all means, do that as well. And exhale down, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, plant. Bring the feet back. Come into plank. Coming up on the toes, just like we did earlier. Really, when you sink back, bring those heels straight to the back of the room, holding yourself. If you feel like you can't do it, ask yourself why. What is it a projection of? Are you projecting weakness? Are you projecting this idea that somehow you are not strong when you are? Are you projecting this idea that you don't have what it takes to fulfill your goals? These are all the fictions that we tell ourselves when we don't realize that we have a great role to play in our destiny. And bring it down. Exhale. Inhale up to cobra or upward dog. Exhale. Back to down dog. And step or jump into flat back. Whatever version feels comfortable for you. Exhale. Forward fold. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. And bringing the hips back. Arms up into chair. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhale the arms up. Exhale, prayer, back into mountain. Okay, let's spread the feet a little bit wider this time. And there's going to be a slight change, so listen carefully. Adjust yourself. There we go. I'm all discombobulated, but I'm feeling good now. Inhale, maybe we sink a little bit deeper than we have so far in chair. Maybe we bring the arms up a little bit higher. Exhale down. And on this forward fold, let's see how we can get our hands back to those massaging positions. So maybe you feel more comfortable here with the hands on the back of the thighs. Maybe you feel more comfortable with them on the calves, or maybe you're even on your Achilles heel. Maybe you're even with your hands flat on the mat. Whatever position you choose, just try to pull a little bit towards you. So, in other words, use your foundation and pull yourself a little bit closer, just a tiny bit. And when you pull, try not to wrench the back. Try to come forward from this hinge right here at the hips. So you're bending straight down like that. Okay? And then pushing a little forward and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And to flat back. And exhale, hands down into plank. Hold again for 5. Nice and sturdy. 3. You can do it. 2. Shake a little bit for me. 3, 2, 1. Exhale down. Come through. Upward dog or cobra. Exhale. Back to downward dog. Let's inhale that left foot up. And bring it the knee through. Try to touch the nose. And inhale up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, knee to nose. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale up, knee to left elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale up, knee to right elbow. Inhale up, knee to right elbow. Inhale up, and last time, knee to right elbow. Inhale up, and let's bring that left foot through. Let's lower the back knee here. And take a moment. Let's bring our hands to our left knee, lowering that back knee and right foot onto the floor, finding our balance. Let's just take a moment here to sink in and study how we feel. If you can, if you're open to it, try to scoot that right knee back a little bit, finding your balance so you can sink a little bit deeper into this lunge. Sink forward. Inhale the arms up. Exhale them down. Inhale them up. Palms facing the sky. Exhale. Down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And inhale up. And on the next exhale down, bring your hands to your knees. Let's tuck those back right toes under. Push up to straighten the leg. And with the front left knee stacked over left ankle, let's come into high lunge, bringing that right foot forward a little bit just for some increased balance. And keeping that torso, that stomach forward, engage. Let's cactus the arms down, just like we did before when we were sitting and we did that pull-up. Let's pull down, kissing those back shoulder blades together, using the thighs and a scissor motion to keep us nice and balanced. Inhale, up, pushing the cosmos, holding them up, carrying the weight of the world because we are strong, and sometimes we will carry the weight of the world, but only in ways that are healthy. And exhale down, pulling and bringing that up, that head up to do that imaginary chin up. And bring the arms up. This time, bring that right foot forward, 45 degrees. Position yourself. There you go. that left heel directly to the center of the sole of your right foot as it's at a 45-degree angle. Inhale up into warrior one. Exhale out into warrior two, maintaining that bend in the front leg. And let's cartwheel the hands down, come into plank and hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale down. Inhale to up dog. Exhale and down dog. And pedal it out. Take a few breaths here. Just get to know yourself. What do you need in down dog so that you can get the full amount of rest you deserve here? Deep breath in and lion's breath out. Deep breath in, lion's breath out. Deep breath in, lion's breath out. And let's inhale that right leg up. Bring it through, knee to nose, exhale. Inhale up, knee to nose, exhale. Inhale up, knee to nose, exhale. Inhale up. Right knee to right elbow, exhale. Inhale up, right knee to right elbow, exhale. Inhale up, right knee to right elbow, exhale. Inhale up, right knee to right elbow. Inhale up, you know where we're going. Right knee to left elbow. Inhale up, right knee to left elbow. Inhale up, right knee to left elbow. Inhale up, and let's bring that right foot through. Planting the fingertips. Bring that left knee down. And just like we did on the other side, let's take a moment here to rest. Bringing those hands to the top of the right knee. Scooting that left back knee back a little bit if it helps you sink deeper into the lunge. Really feel the stretch through your hamstring and try to bring your head back just like as we did before, where we folded from the hinge at our hips. Let's see if we can fold from that same hinge slightly backwards to increase the stretch from our hamstring up through the glutes into the lower back, and also put a little bit more demand on the right hamstring and foot to help us balance. Finding a steady breath here. If you want to just maintain a straight spine, by all means, do that as well. Just taking a moment to check in. Come forward again until we are straight. Bringing the hands to the sides. Inhale up, palms, and the mudra of receptivity to the skies. Exhaling down, ridding ourselves of everything that no longer serves us. Inhale up, we are strong and we are serving and we are supporting the universe. Exhale down, we are getting rid of everything that no longer serves us. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, keeping the fingers as engaged as they were when they were locked into the mat while we were in cat-cow earlier. Exhale down. And bring the arms, the hands back to the right thigh, tucking the left toes under. Let's take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, let's come to a high lunge. Inhaling the arms up, keeping that same engagement throughout the arms, the back body, and twisting from our fulcrum at our hips, at our hinge, making sure that we're twisting straight instead of off to the side following the back leg. Let's follow the front leg forward. Take some breath here. And bringing that left foot in, 45-degree angle, maintaining that bend in the front leg. Inhale into warrior one. Exhale into warrior two. Keeping those arms as straight as possible, sinking as much as you can. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, turning that left back foot straight, back into plank. Exhale as we lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale into down dog, and hop, step, or jump your way to the top. Try not to fall forward and wreck your face. Into the flat back of your choice. Exhale down. Inhale, sinking into chair. Maybe arms are a little bit higher. What feels different when you study yourself right here? What's different than the first chair pose we did of the day? And let's contemplate that as we come into mountain, hands in prayer to the chest. Exhale down. And let's take a minute here. Just notice what's different in our bodies. What's different as we distribute weight from one foot to the other. Take 5 breaths. Into the nose, out of the mouth. 1. Here we go. 2. 3. Here we go with 4. And on this 5th one, let's empty it all out again. Line the breath straight into chair pose. And exhaling down, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale into plank. Let's hold for 10, 9. You got this. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Engage the core. Use it to help you stay sturdy here. 3, 2, 1. And exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale to down dog. Planting the right foot. Let's inhale the left foot up and through. Inhaling to warrior one. Try to elongate it a little bit if you can. Bringing that back foot a little further back. This time, exhale into warrior two. Keeping that front leg engaged. Inhale back to peaceful warrior. Looking right underneath that left bicep. And then forward, bringing that right arm up and sinking down. Let that left knee support your left shoulder and elbow. Left hand flat on the mat, looking up through the engagement with your right shoulder, straight at those right fingertips. And maybe a bind is in your practice. If so, come up for a second. Bring that right arm around your back, your sacrum, onto your left thigh. And once you feel stable, bring that left arm through underneath your left thigh. Bend forward and look up over that right shoulder for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Back to peaceful warrior. And hold for 3, 2, 1. And straightening now. Let's straighten that left leg. Bring it in a little bit closer. And again, bending at the hinge on our hips. Let's bend forward for a triangle. Keeping both legs as straight as possible. Bringing in that back leg if you have to, just a little bit. Keeping it at that 45-degree angle. And deep breaths in. And when you exhale, try to sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. It's okay if you feel that tapas. When you do feel it though, where's it coming from? It's tempting to just say that, I feel some shaking in my leg, but be more specific. Really study the body here. Study the breath. Study the connections. And on your exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Bring that left foot up. And let's shake out that leg. Open up the hips. Do whatever feels good here. Three-legged dog. Back to down dog. Step or jump to the top. Flat back. Forward fold. Let's rise up to mountain. Oh, we missed the chair pose there. Let's actually sink down. And hold here. And I want to ask after that last round of stretches, what feels different in your chair pose than last time we were here? Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale up. Exhale into mountain. And now let's hit the other side. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands, bringing the right step back into plank. Hold again here for 10, 9, 8. You can do it. 7, 6. Engaging that core. Keep being steady. Up dog. Exhale into down dog. Inhaling that right leg up, bringing it through, right into warrior 1. A little bit deeper than last time we were here on this side. Exhale into warrior 2, maintaining straight line with the arms as much as possible. Inhale, peaceful warrior, looking right underneath that right bicep this time. Bringing the right arm down. Bringing that left hand to the sky. So let's sit here for a few seconds in our extended side angle. And just like we did on the other side, if you're feeling up to it, let's come up, bring our left hand this time around the sacrum, around the lower back, tuck it underneath onto the right hip. And as we fold back, as we bend back, let's release and bring this bind into fruition, stretching forward for 10, looking over that left shoulder, 9, you can do this, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhale back, peaceful warrior. And as we exhale forward, let's bring the back left leg in. We can position ourselves comfortably and come into triangle on this side. You can even add a bind again if you like. Keeping both legs straight and looking over that left shoulder. Let's let the head hang. And how is this different now when we sit and the blood rushes to different parts of our body? What does it do to our psyches? What does it do to our blood pressure? What does it do to our beating hearts and our rhythm, the breath rhythms that we've been working with all day so far? And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing. Let's come into one more peaceful warrior. And exhaling forward. Bring that leg back into your last plank of the day. 10, 9, 8, 7. You can do this. 6. Engage everything. 5. Full unity in the body. 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower down. One more upward facing dog. Really bend that back. Exhale. And on this one, let's try to hop it up to the top, bending the knees and launching ourselves forward into flat back. Exhale to forward fold, just like we did earlier, wherever the hands feel comfortable on the back of the legs. Let's pull and see if we can get the forehead a little bit closer to the knees or shins. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sinking down. Let's make this last chair pose of the day count. Maybe your arms are extended a little bit higher. Your shoulders are going from straight forward this way into an upward position. And you're sinking a little bit deeper for 3, 2, 1. Inhale it up. Exhale into mountain. All right, let's bring the feet as wide as the mat. And as slow as you possibly can. Let's lower into a squat. But as you go down, notice, take your time here so that you can study both sides of the body. What's different on your right leg and your left leg? What's different in your shoulders? Does one shoulder have a tendency to come forward while the other one is back? And also, what is the chest doing? Is the chest forward and the spine is hunched? Or are you able to keep as straight a spine as possible? All right, here we go. Everything, get everything that this is worth. Lower down. Adjusting the feet. And now using the elbows. I think I went a little too fast. Let's try it again. Just like we rolled up before in slow motion. Let's try to go down in a squat. And right when it starts to feel uncomfortable, if you haven't already done so, try to hold it here. 5, 4, increasing your balance, relying more heavily on your full body. 3, 2, 1. And now as you sink down, use the elbows to try to push the knees out. Feel that stretch in the inside of the thighs. Keeping that back straight, palms in prayer. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's exhale, bringing the arms back into a comfortable seat, legs extended out front. Slide back. Let's circulate the toes, the ankles. Bringing the right knee up, keeping the left thigh and calf grounded and flexing the toes straight to the ceiling. Let's really bring, pull in that right knee. What's different here than earlier when we were pushing on the back of the legs in the forward fold? How can we now pull the legs closer as we lift up the head? Is this easier or harder? Is it the same? Why do you feel that way? And let's bring the right leg out. So if we have the right leg here, hugged into our chest, keeping it in as close to the same position as possible. Let's just pull it over to the right. And when you do that, are you able to keep your back and your left leg and your head as flat as possible? Really opening up the right leg as much as possible. Here, think of it as a tree pose on your back. The best way to describe it. You're doing a tree pose on your back. Let's hold for 10, engaging the core as well, keeping that left foot engaged, pointing straight to the sky. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling back up and letting the right leg go back. Now this time, switching it up, right toes flex to the sky and right leg suck down into the mat. Let's bring that left leg up and hug it forward, bringing forehead to kiss it. Was it easier on one side or the other to keep the leg grounded while the other one was coming towards your forehead? If so, why? And lowering back down, just like we did the lying tree pose earlier. Let's try to think of that same formula as we bring that left hip open. Remember to engage the core and flex those right toes up as we stretch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale. Bringing the left leg back up and extending it forward. Taking a few deep breaths. Let's see how slowly we can bring the feet up into a child's pose just by using the hinge at our hips and using the muscles in our core. So tighten, lift, straight up, bending the knees, And reaching up, grab the outsides of the feet, bringing the elbows on the insides of the knees, and pushing your feet up while you pull down with your hands, trying also to bring the legs outward as much as possible to get a full stretch here. And let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and exhale to release, bringing your legs down as softly as possible. Positioning yourself here for a comfortable Shavasana. The heat happens to be very high in this room I'm in right now, but if you're chilly, grab a sweater, grab a hat, socks, whatever you need to feel comfortable, blanket. And also, actually, let's grab our towel or a blanket from earlier. And in that same roll or fold that it was in, instead of putting it underneath us, let's put it underneath our sit bones, rather. Let's put it underneath our spine and our heads, just to give a little bit of a lift during Shavasana. And as we do that, slowly sink down. And if you have some extra room, if there's some blanket or towel that's sticking out above your head, you can fold it over, give yourself a nice pillow. And let's bring the feet together here. And as we sit, just let the sensation, at first it might feel a little strange to do Shavasana in this position. But just go with it and let the strange different feelings lull you into relaxation.